The 20th century was a time of incredible change in America. People were moving to the US from new parts of the world, and my parents were a part of this incredible journey. When they immigrated from India in the late 80s, they also brought with them some staple household dishes, and I'm going to share one of them with you today.
To prepare Matar Paneer, you will need a white onion, 2 tomatoes, frozen peas, and frozen paneer. Paneer is just cut up cheese curds, which are served with vegetables and a curry and eaten with rice and/or a paratha, which is a type of flatbread common in Indian cuisine. Before the actual cooking process begins, we'll need to start the rice cooker so that by the time we're done making the paneer, it'll be ready. 1 cup of rice is enough for a serving for 4 people, and then 2 cups of water need to be poured into the cooker, after which it just needs to be turned on. Next, I'm going to dice the onion. This dish has been in my family for several generations, passed along from my grandma to my mom. They make it this way, with tomatoes and onions, but anything can be used for it, including spinach, chicken, and even fish.
Once the onion and tomatoes are diced, you heat up the wok and put in enough oil to cover the surface. After that, it's time to add in some spices. The recipe that my mom uses calls for mustard seeds and cumin seeds. After letting this sit for a couple minutes, you add the diced onions. After they've sat for a few more minutes, we add even more spices. This time, a pinch of turmeric powder, chili powder, and coriander powder, which is extracted from cilantro seeds. I'll mix these and let it sit until the onions have sauteed and take on a pinkish color. Then I'm going to add the tomatoes. This wheel of spices is a common sight in Indian households and further shows the intricacies involved with cooking Indian food, something that my mom and grandma take to heart. It includes all the ones mentioned earlier, as well as several other indigenous Indian spices that provide so much flavor and color to these amazing dishes. In the meantime, it's time to prepare the paratha. This is just a flatbread which you can buy frozen at many Asian supermarkets, and preparing it is as easy as putting it on the stove until it is no longer frozen. You also need to add some salt after that and mix some more, and then it's time to put the tomatoes in. These have to cook for a couple minutes, and then you add 2 cups of water to the wok and let it come to a boil, creating a curry. Indian dishes are very meticulously cooked, and it is something that they pride themselves with. Food is a huge part of the Indian culture, and it shows in the quality of the dishes that we create. I chose this dish to share because it is something from my childhood which resonates greatly, and it's something I look forward to eating whenever I get a chance to visit home. My mom says it's the same with her whenever she gets a chance to go back to India, and her mom and her get to cook together. She made a point to learn all these household dishes so that she could share such a significant part of her culture with me and my sister as we grew up so far away from the place that they call home. At this point, the dish is nearly done and the rice is also finishing up. As soon as the curry comes to a boil, it's time to add the frozen peas, stir them a little bit, then the frozen paneer. Another great aspect of Indian food is that when it is home cooked, it is very healthy for you. Not only because of the numerous spices used, but also because of a low fat content and incorporation of many vegetables. Many restaurants include lots of cream in the recipe, which yields a thicker curry and takes away from the spiciness of the dish, which is more catered for Western taste buds. But in order to experience traditional Indian food, you have to try a grandma's recipe cooked in a home kitchen. Now the dish is officially complete. It is served with the paratha and rice just like this. Although it takes a little bit of effort to prepare it, it is something that is a staple for my parents' culture, and this delicious meal is reminiscent of when I was younger and we would visit my grandparents in India every summer. Now, there's very little time to make the journey out there, so all we have are reminders of our heritage through foods such as Matar Paneer.